to know why it was that the first us voters knew anything of these new proposals, which could potentially have such a huge impact on our lives, was by reading about it in the local paper. Do your councillors feel this is an acceptable way for Cambridge residents to be treated?
Which affect anybody in the city is to go to committee for discussion about whether the consultation should go ahead. That's what happened. And once the consultation is launched, which will happen next week after next, next week, we will make sure everybody is consulted. Before then, there's no question of needing to discuss anything with anybody until we've actually decided whether to consult at all. We are now going to go to that consultation, and everybody will be making sure that anybody who's anything to do with the river, not just people living on it, people rowing on it, people living by it, people enjoying the environment around it, everybody will be consulted by this consultation. That's the way we proceed.
Do you have a supplementary?
Yeah. But you did talk to the local paper about it before. It's a sensitive thing, it's to do with our lives and our homes. And I resent the fact that you spoke to the local papers before actually talking to the people that are directly affected.
Yeah.
Press release in the Cambridge Evening News, you asked for feedback from the voters. We wrote letters. What did I get? A generic response that completely ignored what I'd said. I mean, what do you want? Do you want to communicate at all? That's what I'd like to know, and I'd like an apology at some stage, and I won't give up until I get one.
Council procedure has been followed in this respect in announcing a consultation at the committee. Sometimes committee item agendas are items on the committee agenda are sometimes announced in advance by press release. I haven't talked to the press or media in any way, but I did. There was a press release that went out announcing the issue. That was a preamble to a committee meeting. When we had actually launched the consultation, there will be further releases to the press and the media so that everybody is aware of what's going on and so they can play their part in that consultation.
Okay, I'm Nicola Terry. I'm here with my Transition Cambridge hat on. I think you have a written statement from Cambridge Carpen. We're talking about the climate change strategy bill. So, Transition Cambridge will be delighted to work with the council in any way we can to support climate change mitigation in the city as soon as possible. From our past experience, we know the value in highlighting personal stories and engaging individuals. And there are now more and more individuals, households and companies, and both people, who have achieved carbon savings in various ways. So we are keen to discuss how these stories can be rolled out to the wider public. We applaud the work that has already been done. For example, all the homes that have been insulated through the Green Deal Communities Fund, close to 1,000 homes in Cambridgeshire, but I'm not quite sure how many in Cambridge itself. And there are examples of carbon savings achieved through Cambridge Retrofit, Millie, and other projects. And only recently we heard Cambridge City Council has switched to 100% renewable energy, which is great news. We can use these examples as a useful platform on which to build and engage more people. And to some extent this is already happening. For example, Cambridge Carbon Footprints Open Eco Homes, I think we've been running about 5 years now, attracts new people every year to see what has been done in homes around the city, mine included. And Transition Cambridge is very grateful for the support we have received from the council in running our energy forums and other events. But there is a need to reach more people, a step change in activity, and things like the proposed Sustainability Festival. The Committee for Climate Change has explored scenarios for how carbon emissions can be reduced in all sectors. For buildings, the main savings are from insulation, of course, general efficiency savings, converting to heat pumps for heating and low-voltage district heating. And all these are quite technically difficult, but it is essential to build up the supply chain for these as early as possible in order to reduce emissions, even by 2050, never mind earlier. And surely Cambridge is in a good situation to lead the way on this and take advantage of business opportunities in doing so. Green Deal Communities Fund started the ball rolling in businesses by involving local businesses in delivering the installation. Energy and carbon savings isn't just important for climate change, it's also important for health and comfort, and it enhances the quality of our building stock. We think Cambridge should be really leading the way on this, and we would like to be a part of making that happen.
We're getting their money's worth of you tonight.
We're very like working with the voluntary sector in Cambridge, carbon footprint, transition. These are agencies who know a lot about the subject of energy and energy conservation. We have worked with you in the past, as you say, and we'd like to continue to do so. We are planning we're planning to hold a seminar to bring together expert groups and voluntary organisations working on climate change. The aim will be to identify ways to encourage businesses and other organisations working in and near Cambridge to move to far more efficient use of energy. So that's an area where that's immediate. We'd like to work with you on. But I'm sure working with you will bring us other ways as well.
Do you have a supplementary? That's okay. Mr. Carpen has kindly said that he will take his second question last, which we're grateful. I would call Jim Ross next. I think he's just left the chamber, so I'll hold him in abeyance and take Mark Evans next.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, councillors, and the public up there. Good to see you smiling tonight. I'm Mark Evans. I'm a resident of Riverside in Cambridge, the wet bit, actually on the river on boats. This consultation, which is going out next week, is flawed in many ways. It's obviously stirred up a lot of emotion, as we can see tonight. And it's causing a lot of undue stress. I'm myself stressed out by this. We're living on a boat. People think we're just some sort of lazy hippies sponging off the state. A lot of us work, we work hard. It's hard work running the boat and getting the job down. And the stress with this flawed consultation, the stuff in the papers saying we're moored illegally, even though we've been through a consultation, which we thought we were still in with the past councillors, but we jumped through all the hoops as far as we're concerned, and we've had authorisation to be on the riverside. All of a sudden we're being considered as doing something illegal, which is, it's our detriment. If employers think you're doing something illegal, they're not going to think very highly of you. And to hear comments like, you're just scrounging hippies from Labour people, it's disgusting, personally. And there's the question of health and safety keeps getting brought up as well, but we've asked questions to see where's the stats, how many accidents are on Riverside, and no one come up with it. So basically, I think the biggest risk is carrying on.
There is no problem with folks on the Riverside at the moment, but the problem is that we want to consult on whether this should remain there. There is evidence that there is, in many ways, has been put to me that maybe it's an accident waiting to happen, which takes the boats, requires someone to clamber over the front.
Can you speak up a bit, please? We're really trying to hear.
Please stop mumbling. What are you hiding from us?
Well, we offered another microphone, does that help? In many ways, the problem at Riverside is an accident waiting to happen. That's how it's been put to me. To get to the boats, it involves clambering over the railings, down the wall to the boats. We have a duty of care for people. We can't just ignore this issue, and we believe that there may be a problem there which we need to deal with. That's what the consultation is all about. We are quite happy to come to sit down, and we're planning to meet with groups of people, particularly camp voters, to discuss the issue. That's something we've already committed to, and obviously we'll deal with individuals as well if they wish to. I don't understand the pejorative expression scrounging hippies. That's not something that's ever come from the lips of any councillor as far as I know, or council officer either. We do want to go ahead with the consultation. This time the issue has been fudged for many years and it does need to be addressed so that we can actually move forward with a clear, transparent and fair policy.
Yeah, you say you've got a duty of care. So I think in the last consultation there was £75,000 set aside to put gates and ladders in. I'm just wondering what's happened to that. You can answer that, please.
As far as I'm aware, no commitment has ever been made to spend money on the moorings.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Point of order, the 75,000 was set aside in the budget in 2012. My understanding is the Labour ruling group removed that as part of removing the allocation of reserves.
I'm not sure if points of order come into public questions. Very helpful, Councillor Cantrell.
What I can say is that we do believe that we should be improving amenities on the riverside, or the whole length of the riverside, where appropriate. Things like an additional pump-out facility, post boxes, mooring rings, all these things are things that probably should be addressed.